Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the GFreak Speaks, episode number 41. This podcast is sponsored by absolutely nobody. So if you guys want to sponsor the podcast, hit me up, sign to the DMs. We can get a pre-roll, post-roll, mid-roll, crunchy roll, whatever the fuck you want. But joining us today is Wxltzy, my man. How you doing, brother? What's going on?
I'm doing good.
That's good, man. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. There was a bit of tech issues happening, but we have overcome those, which is great. And I can see that you're drinking the rival of mine right now. You're drinking Monster Energy. I'm drinking.
Oh wait, what do you drink?
I'm drinking Red Bull, Bulls.
Ooh, yeah. I like the sugar-free Monsters, the white and the pink one. So good.
Okay, I did see a few of them floating around DreamHack over the weekend. So I never actually tried them. On the record, never tried them. So
Missing out.
I'm totally missing out. There was a big booth. Did you go to DreamHack?
No.
Damn, man, I'm surprised.
It was at the same time as my birthday, unfortunately. So I'd like my mum come down, so I couldn't actually do it.
Okay, damn, man. Fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
It was tough.
Big weekend, bro. Big weekend.
Yeah,
Happy
I saw
birthday
it.
as well.
Good fun. Thank you.
How old did you turn, bro?
22. I'm getting old.
Woo! 3
Yeah.
years. I'm 3 years in front of you, so you're not as old as me. But
Big 2-5.
big 2-5, man. The quarter century. The half knock.
That's a milestone.
A bit, yeah. Turning 26 though on the 30th of November. This month's coming up. A couple of months coming up, so should be alright, man. Did you get up to much for your birthday?
No, we kind of just I don't know. We went to Phillip Island. You know.
Yeah. I know Phillip Island.
Yeah. So we did that. Went and saw the penguins. Because she was down for like almost a week. We went and saw. Do you know what Sorrento is?
Yeah, of course, man.
It's like.
Come on, bro. I'm not that bad of a gamer. I go outside and touch grass, okay?
Yeah, okay. So we went to
Do you know what Coles is?
the
Do you
national park.
Do you know what Woolies is?
Yeah. Do you know what outside looks like? No, I'm kidding.
Do you know the color of grass?
We went to the national park at Sorrento, so like we kind of just did like a lot of sightseeing. So it was
That's
good.
right, man. That's right.
It was a good break.
Bit of cardio for yourself, bro.
Not a big fan, but
Not a fan.
we did anyway.
Not a fan. Get the sweatband out.
Just lift fucking heavy things. That's it.
Yeah, well, that's it, man. That's it. Hey, let's tell the audience, give them a bit of a background of who you are today.
Ooh. Who I am right now is the professional Apex Legends player for Team Moist, I guess, is a bit of a background on who I am. Do you want me to dive into like a personal level or just the gaming side?
Yeah, jump into the gaming, how it all began, and then your name and all that type of stuff.
Oh, my name's super easy. My last name's Walton, Walton. And I couldn't do, obviously, Wxltzy because back on console it was taken, so the console thing to do is just swap the A for an X. So that's where my name came from. Super easy. Where I started, Jesus, back in Modern Warfare 2 is probably where I started. Yeah,
Good game.
My second favorite game of all time. It used to be my favorite, but I can't say that Apex isn't because like I wouldn't be where I am without Apex, you know?
Yeah.
So Modern Warfare 2 is a close second, but the amount of hours I got into that game when I was probably like 11 years old would have been ridiculous.
30 hours.
Oh, I'm talking like I used to stay up till the AM on a school night and go to school the next day like tired as like I've just been always a gamer. It's not good.
Yep.
Hardcore gamer. But yeah, I started on Modern Warfare 2. Played every game known to man, I feel like. Not gonna lie, I've played hundreds of games. And like I've been through all the big ones too, like Rainbow, Fortnite, what are some other, like pretty much all the CODs.
Yep.
Just like played a ridiculous amount. And even like not just like your typical ones, like started way back on Ratchet and Clank and Jack and Daxter, if you know those. You would, right?
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah, it's like that's where I started. Oh, I mean Crash Bandicoot on like the old PS1. I've played video games since I was like I think 6 years old. Like proper like I can genuinely remember playing video games since I was a little child. running around. Just
Yeah,
always
man.
been on them. Yeah.
Is that from like your mum and dad's side, or just like friends you met, or what was it?
So I don't know. It was like my stepdad. He was sort of into video games as well, so he like encouraged it. Um, and he had a son. So he's like my
Step brother.
half, yeah, like my stepbrother. That was so hard for me to figure out, by the way. I've had a mental blank there.
What's going on, bro?
And he got me into the online world.
Yep.
But I would have started on like the old Crash Bandicoot, just from just my stepdad just would have been the reason, because I then merged into the PS3 and the Xbox 360 world because I had both. I was like, that was a crazy time. I thought I was the man, by the way.
Yeah.
I was the only kid I knew at school that had an Xbox and a PS3. It was sick.
Woo!
Yeah, I could play both. I was like, yeah, I'm living like that.
Sorry,
Even though
fellas. I'm playing with the Xboxes tonight. Sorry, fellas.
Yeah.
Playing with the PlayStation gang tomorrow night.
Even though like we weren't like by any means like, well off or anything like that. It was just that, like, I don't know. It's kind of all I ever asked for was like a 40-inch TV and an Xbox and a PS3. Is like
I'm a simple man. All I ask for is two things: a fucking massive plasma flat screen and the up-to-date console.
Yeah, all I ask for is that in every game that comes out ever.
Yeah, and the additional every quarter of the year to splash out $99 for a video game console.
And the
disc.
DLCs that come with it.
Yeah, the DLC. Oh fuck.
Yeah, I don't ask for much.
No.
Yeah, do we miss the days of DLCs?
I do, man. I do, bro. I do.
We do?
Like, dude, MW2 had the best DLC type of shit ever, man. And ever since, and like everything came out on time. There was not really like there was glitches, but they were meant to be in the game.
This is true.
And with the DLC, like they didn't get as many sales, but the DLC that you're paying for was you didn't care about paying for it because it was unreal. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So taking that away, even like the whole disc situation where there's no more discs to sell or buy secondhand, it sucks, man. It sucks. I used to love going and buying a hardened edition of Call of Duty. I had every single Call of Duty up to 2019, Modern Warfare, the recent one in 2019. I never got that one hardened because I changed to PC and there's no hardened edition on PC. And consoles are, killing all that type of shit as well because of their digital copies. But yeah, all the disc covers that I have, all hardened cases, the metal plate cases and shit, have all the like cool gear. Modern Warfare, I got night vision goggles with.
I just had a hit. Yeah, when you used to buy the DLCs, and they used to come with like when you used to go like into EB or something like that, and they used to come with the posters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Well, that's when you buy the game for the first time. You get those like extra like RCXD cars and the night. I got night vision goggles with Modern Warfare Remastered. But the DLC you get online. Yes.
The RCXD car, that was Black Ops 2. Yeah.
I got it, man. Yeah. I got it. It's sick as.
I didn't. That was like that was like a certain edition. You had to pay extra for those, right?
Yeah, you had to pay extra.
Yeah.
Bro, I got it from America, and the fucking disc was region locked. Like I bought that thing from America. My parents got it from America. They're like, oh, that's cool. We'll get it from America for you, from Amazon. When it, like years and years ago, obviously this is Black Ops 2, which is 2008. 9, 10, 11, 2011 or 12, and so early days of Amazon. And bro, it was region locked. Like the disc wouldn't let me play, so I just went and changed over the game at EB Games and shit, and did a dodgy brothers. But yeah, it was just so fucking annoying. But what are your thoughts about DLC, man? Do you wish that it came back, made a return, or you like the battle pass type of shit?
No, it's actually interesting now that I think about it. I don't miss discs. I'm not gonna lie. I think maybe because I'm a little bit younger, but it's more just everything's so easy. Like even when I was back on PlayStation, like I stopped buying discs as soon as like I sort of caught on to the whole downloading it from the store thing. It's just like it was just always easier. Like because I don't know, when I was younger, I guess it was like a lot of discs were getting scratched and stuff like that. Sometimes it was like, I don't know if you've got like younger siblings, if you've got cousins or something like that, or just for some reason Like I just took so many discs that would get scratched, and I just didn't know how. So I don't miss the discs, but DLCs. Now that I think about it, best DLCs that I've ever played has to be Destiny, by far. Like their DLCs for me were just unreal. D1, playing like all those raids. I don't know if you've played D1. Have you played it?
I've never played Destiny, bro. I know it's got a big community
You have missed out on like a crucial part of gaming.
though.
I'm not even kidding.
I was grinding COD, brother.
Oh, dude, you've missed out.
Shit.
Like, Destiny was like, oh man, it was just something so different. And the DLCs for that game by far were the best, like unmatched, like best DLCs by far.
Okay.
So like, I can sort of miss that. Like, I wish like maybe not for BRs. Like, I think Apex. I couldn't imagine a world where like DLCs work in Apex, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's one map though. It's different. It's hard.
Like, yeah. So it's like I couldn't imagine it for that. But now that you mention it, yeah, DLCs were kind of like, but I mean they're by far like better than the microtransactions. Like the way that the gaming scene's moving into like the microtransactions is like, in my opinion, just like gross. I hate it so much. Like like Apex packs, for instance, right? The whole like having to buy like packs and just hope that you get an heirloom, or like hope that you get something good, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like you're not even guaranteed.
It's like
you're not
gambling
even
and
guaranteed.
shit. It's just
it's a bit. Yeah, I don't like. Have you played any NBA 2Ks?
I have played 2Ks. Yeah.
Yeah, if you've played the My Team in that, it is like insane the amount of money that they would make off of the microtransactions with it's like the packs in it to get like the better characters and stuff. Ridiculous, like stuff like that. I'm not a big fan of. So yeah, I'd prefer DLCs over the way that it's moving now. Yeah, for sure.
For sure, dude. For sure, DLC is where it's at. Microtransactions. I just saw Apex Legends made $2 billion from microtransactions since the game's come out. Dude, that is fucking nuts. $2 billion revenue.
Yeah, it's like
that is amazing return.
It's like impressive, but it just hurts me to hear that number and know how little they put back into it.
Yeah.
And like, as much as I do appreciate the game that they've made, because like obviously, as I said before, like I wouldn't be where I am without Apex. So it's like I'll always like support them, but it just hurts because it's like, especially in the professional scene, it's just like, I feel like they just don't put back in when they just easily could. Like, we could be sitting on right now the biggest, in my opinion, like the biggest esport, if they just funded their tournaments just way better and just organized it way better, and they gave I don't know, like better transparency, or just if they just communicated better. Sorry, I think is a better way. If they just communicated better, like we still don't know when year 3 LGS is. And it's 2 months or over 2 months since we're at LAN.
Yeah.
For Rayleigh. So it's like, man, it just hurts. Like $2 billion, and nuts. Like they just, I don't know. I don't know
transparency. What you want transparency to know a schedule for the full year, kind of like how 343 did for Halo, and it was all out for the whole year leading up into it. And what else would make a better game from you guys as a pro for Apex Legends?
It's tough because like as a pro, you know that like you don't really get hurt like we do in some aspects. Like pros get blamed for a lot more than like we should. I guess in a way. The casual community seems to blame us for the changes that happen.
Old res like, shields and shit.
Yeah, so like again, pros copped it for that. But it's like EA has a simple fix in front of them, and they refuse to take it. So a simple fix for the gold res thing is to leave it in pubs so the casuals can be happy. And even leave it in the lower ranks, because like at the end of the day, pred lobbies is where the pros are. So if you can make certain changes to pred lobbies, it like removing gold res and stuff like that, I feel like you get the best of both worlds.
Yep.
And like both the casuals and the pros will be happy. Or like just all the changes that the pros want in pred ranked, just have that happen, and all the lower ranks can keep all their unbalanced, ridiculous stuff that they want to hold on to. Like even characters, like for the longest time, like Wraith got like nerfed into the ground, right?
Yep.
Pros got blamed for that, even though it was like she was just completely terrible for the game.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't quite understand how pros cop all of it when it's like, if if EA agrees, it's like there's clearly an issue, but it's just like they don't blame EA, they just kind of blame the pros. But as for the whole transparency with the whole pro scene, it's like it's tough being an Apex pro in my opinion, because for the people that didn't go to champs, they haven't competed for, I think, like 4 months maybe.
Damn.
Yeah, so they haven't competed for a third of the year, right?
Yep.
And they don't know when their next tournament is. You're a professional player, right? Some of these guys are genuine pros. Some of these guys like they got like unlucky and they missed out, especially like in other regions.
Yeah.
Apex South, not so much. Like, but you know, NAEU, they're probably like the two strongest regions at the moment. Yep. Even though like Apex South did just win, some of the teams there that missed out on going to champs because like they just had an unfortunate series and they're like putting in, you know, hours into the game and they don't know when the next tournament is, like from LGS, that has to hurt like a lot. So yeah, I don't know. For me, it's just like the lack of communication after hearing that they've just made $2 billion is like how is it that bad?
It's like a sack tap.
Yeah, it's like it's just like I don't know. There's just no way they care, in my opinion. There's just no way.
For people listening as well, explain the gold res situation, because to my understanding, a gold revive shield in Apex Legends is when you can just pick yourself back up when you get knocked and your teammates can continue the fight, but you still, when you pick yourself up, you replenish and have a small amount of health. What advantage does that give the person that has the gold res?
Basically, it's like the reason that it was so bad for the game was there was like a few things. Sometimes it was the lack of audio that you'd get on it, so it wasn't blatantly obvious. I think Warzone had it, right? They had a self-res.
Yeah, they still do.
Yeah, so I don't know how loud the audio is in COD for their self-res.
Yep.
But there was a lot of times in Apex where you would get no audio, and you would think you're in a 3v2 situation.
Yep.
Or even a 1v1.
Yep.
And all of a sudden you're getting shot in your back by the guy that's just self-res behind you, and he's made no audio. So it's like that was a big issue. Late games. So if you're in an end circle and there's multiple knockdowns,
yep,
and you miss out on second or third because of a gold res, that is like unhealthy. You've essentially won the game and like won the fight, but you've lost to an item in the game that is like purely RNG. So it was like, it was not it wasn't even the worst thing that has been like in terms of balancing, like the Kraber for the longest time. So you get a pack weapon that can one tap you regardless of like what HP you're on.
Yep.
Much worse. 10 times worse.
Yeah.
I don't know if you like, especially in comp. In comp, there is nothing worse than not knowing that someone has a Kraber and you die. So like, Vantage, right? You've played the new season, yeah?
Yeah.
So Vantage, who is the new character, she has the, what's it called? When the sniper has the laser.
It's like a whistling one with the bird, and then there's another one. Yeah, that extra sniper. I'm not sure, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So you know the laser though that's on her sniper.
Yep.
Is it called Flint or no? It's not called Flint. Anyway, that laser
Foresight?
that
Nah, it's not
lets you,
foresight.
it just like it lets you know that there's advantage aiming at you.
Yep.
If the Kraber had that, it's 10 times more balanced because you know that someone has it,
Yeah.
right? So like that would be a way to like balance a Kraber like that, because even as it is right now, it is still insanely broken.
Yeah.
Like it, and it's copped a massive nerf. Also the Mastiff, like pretty much any pack weapon, really, right? So there's like nothing you can do in situations where you've jumped on somebody with a Mastiff and you didn't know he had a Mastiff, and all of a sudden you've been two tapped in 2 seconds, and it's like, well, if I knew he had a Mastiff, I don't do what I did, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. You don't push it. You push it. You keep range. You keep distance, and you make it a better fight for yourself.
Yeah, or the Rampage, right? The gun that can shoot down doors, the fun gun that can shoot down doors.
Yep.
So you're sitting on the door, someone's got a Rampage on the other side. You don't know. That is a quick way for you to insta-die. And if it had a noise that let you know that they had, like a Rampage, I'm not sitting on that door anymore. You know what I mean? There's just like things like that in the game that are just like super unbalanced that they still haven't touched, but for some reason it's a big deal that, knockdowns got nerfed. And it's like, yeah.
That's because all the casuals cry about the easy one, which is the knockdown shields. They see it all the time, but they don't really care about they just think, oh, I just got unlucky with a Mastiff and a Kraber and the Rampage at the door and shit. They don't really cry about that stuff.
Yeah, that's crazy to me though. Like, I do understand like gold knockdown for sure is like, it's fun because like you got to think of it from a casual's POV. So like a casual, right? They've just been knocked. Their teammates are fighting. They're popping the self res and they're trying to clutch up and they're trying to go for like the clip, right?
Yep.
Sorry. Oh my god.
Hay fever.
So it's like, yeah. So it's like, from their POV, I can see why like it's so it's so good for them.
Yep.
But they just need to understand, like, for competitive integrity, and this is why I said before, it is horrible for ranked modes. Terrible. Because like you shouldn't be getting rewarded purely based on RNG because you found the gold knock. And I don't know if you played Storm Point when the IMCs got introduced, but there was a gold knockdown, multiple gold knockdowns in those things.
Yeah.
So when you were playing ranked, in an end zone, no word of a lie, almost everybody had a gold knockdown. So like it was, and not even just a gold knockdown with a gold bag.
Yeah.
So not only are they getting a self-res off, they're getting a self-res off with like 100 HP.
Yeah.
So that was like probably one of the worst times to play ranked because it was like, there was a point where if you were in a fight and you knocked one and you were chasing the other two, you had to stop and go back and thirst because you couldn't risk the chance that they had a gold knock. And the chances were high. It was like borderline 50% of the people that you were knocking had a, like, maybe not that high, maybe like 1 in 3 of the people that you were knocking in ranked had a gold knockdown. So you had to stop what you were doing and go thirst that person. And then by that time, the other two could have run off. Or if you chase the two and he gets the self-res off, like he can go run away and hide. Or he can like run up and shoot you in the back. Like it was absolutely terrible for the game.
Yeah.
In terms of ranked. But the casuals just, they can't, I don't know, they just can't seem to comprehend it. But
they can't keep up.
They're the people that unfortunately fund the game.
It's annoying, man.
Yeah, as much as pros put into the game, and as much as like they stream the game.
Yep.
Like, and they promote the game. It's like casuals are the money.
Yeah.
So you can't. Again, I can't hate on EA for catering to the casuals, even though the casuals seem to think that they cater to us more.
Yeah.
It's like.
It's because casuals have no idea, bro. They just don't get it. They don't see what the feedback is, and people have inside knowledge and they have connections inside EA, and you know that it's coming from the casuals because you're getting told that as a person that has those connections, but the community still just keeps playing. It's just a continuous fuck circle, pretty much, which you don't want to be involved in, really, but you are.
these are real people, by the way.
Yeah.
That's the thing that shocks me. We're talking about real people, and like I'm not trying to.
Fucking burgers, bro.
I'm not trying to piss off the casual community at all. Like you do you, man. You play video games for fun. That's crazy. Like go nuts. It's just that the people that are too ignorant, I guess, to see both sides. And ignorant is probably a strong word, but or maybe even like too careless, I guess, like to see both sides are the ones where I'm like, how are you a real person?
Yeah.
Like how do we think? Like how do we function the same? Like I don't understand it. Like if you can't see both sides, then yeah, I don't know. It just has to be ignorance.
If you can't see both sides, you're part of the issue. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here, bro.
It's like, as I said, I can see the casuals POV. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I can understand it.
I get it. I think that the viewing experience of Apex Legends for myself was unreal. The arena that they had set out for both splits was amazing. And also it was even better to see Aussies get up. But it was phenomenal. It was absolutely phenomenal. And for you to be part of it would have been absolutely unreal, especially at this last split, like being Team Burger. Dude, tell me about where you came up with that name, bro. Was it seriously because I call people burgers, so I shit on, and whatnot. So where did you come up with that name?
So I didn't come up with the name. Empty and the boys came up with the name, and it is essentially like the troll, like that you're talking about.
Yeah.
So like when someone's bad at the game, like they're a burger. You know what I mean? So it's like Team Burger because it's just like a troll sort of thing, and it just turned into something that none of us sort of saw coming when we went to Rayleigh. It was like it's funny because hearing people chant Team Burger, it's like you're essentially calling us like bad at the game. It's like I don't know what the word is for it. It's like a
ironic.
Yeah. It's like it's just like it's funny, man. And they were like the crowd at Rayleigh. I don't know if you saw the crowd.
Oh, it was nuts.
We showed up thinking, like, I had a couple people from stream say, "Oh, like I'm gonna go like watch you. I'll be there."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, dope! Like, I'm keen to meet up and like just catch up and stuff like that."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, like we might have like a couple fans, like a couple of the people from my chat might come like support us." And then, first day, there was two guys that started it all. And I'm pretty sure his name is Eric. And I can't remember the other guy's name, but I remember Eric specifically because he was the loudest person in the arena. Like
Shout out to you, Eric. Shout out to you, Eric.
Like I'm playing the game with these headphones that are crushing my skull, by the way.
Yeah. And
the game audio on top, and I can still hear him. If you were like to watch the VODs, you'll see us laughing because we can hear him while we're playing. And it is like, it was the greatest thing ever. But he single-handedly started the Burger Brigade. And it was like, it was the craziest thing to see happen in front of your eyes. It was like one person, two people, 4, 8, 12, like it just kept going. Yeah. And then it was like all of a sudden we had like our section of the crowd with stickers, shirts, socks, hats, and then we got our own jerseys on the last day that they made for us.
That's insane.
Like when I say that, like we had no, like you could never tell me, like if you had told me like before we went to that LAN that that's what was going to happen. And like, I guess in a sense, like not even in a sense, they essentially like got us signed to team, like to Moist.
Yeah.
Because I don't think without the Burger Brigade and the amount of hype that we had behind us that we would be signed right now. I think maybe we would be, but it wouldn't be Moist.
Yep.
I don't think we'd be on their radar if it wasn't for the Burger Brigade, for sure. So it's like, yeah, man. Like, if you had told me, like before that LAN, that's what would have happened, I would have said like you're crazy. Like I would have said like there's no way that's gonna happen. Any of that's gonna happen. We kind of just went there and the only goal was to show up. That was it. Like, that was our only goal. And like, for instance, Dark Zero, right?
Yep.
So, land champs in Sweden, one with a sub, by the way, which is crazy. I'm not sure if you knew that.
Yeah, it's nuts. Dan Burnham was out with the spicy cough.
Yeah, with the spicy cough. Yeah, so the land champs, right? Freshly signed to DZ. Even they didn't have the crowd that they deserved, which is crazy to me because Jen Burton is as big as he is.
Yeah, that's nuts.
They were doing like a bunch of signings and stuff. Like they had a bunch of fans, but they didn't have the crowd that they deserved. And it's like they won. And wherever we go next, if they don't have the biggest crowd there, or one of the biggest crowds, because it's hard to compete with TSM.
Yeah.
Because it's TSM.
It's TSM.
Yeah. So it's like, if they don't have that, then I don't know. Like I'll be shocked. But the fact that we Team Burger, like if you had told me Team Burger would have had more fans than in the crowd supporting us than Dark Zero, the previous land champs who have Jen Burton on their team, I would be like, no, like there's no way, right? Yep. It just wouldn't make sense. Like none of that would have made sense. Or even like, I think the only two teams that might have that had a bigger crowd or like a bigger, yeah, I'll call it a crowd. I don't like saying fans because it's a bit, I don't know, it feels weird. But a bigger crowd would be
supporters.
Yeah, supporters. Yeah, that's
mates.
Way better word.
Mates.
Yeah, supporters. No, I like
mates.
supporters.
Your mates.
So would have been TSM, Optic, and maybe Furia, maybe.
Yep.
But think about that. An unsigned team. No, not even 100 Thieves would have. I like when I tell you that even the other pros in the game chat that we have in those custom lobbies were saying like they were shocked. They were saying like holy shit, Team Burger fans go crazy. And then they were like even some of the other pros were like cheering us on, like even after the fact, like after we finished the tournament.
Yep.
Pros that we hadn't even spoken to, because like as much as you do try and network and meet everyone and talk to everyone while you're at LANs and just try and socialize.
Yep.
You can't really talk to everyone because if you get COVID, you can't play.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, so it's like you do like the best that you can. But pros that we had never talked to, like I hadn't, and I'm very confident that the boys hadn't. After the fact, were like, if these guys don't get signed, like it's a crime and like stuff like that. Like the fact that was happening, again, all because of the Burger Brigade was like insane.
It's fucking nuts, bro. It's like it's nuts.
Yeah, like even though we made like because I was on Sudoraku for Sweden.
Yep.
So made finals with them.
That was a good team too.
Yeah. So Burger made finals as well.
Yep. And
then finals again in champs. Both times we didn't have the series that we wanted to, but we made finals. Still, I think even with that, we wouldn't. We wouldn't be where we are. Like just even still.
Yeah, it's crazy,
so it's like,
man.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It was
what the fuck? So it's yourself, Fussy, and who's your third?
No.
It's not Fussy?
Hello?
Yeah, you there, bro? There we go.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
So your old team used to be Fussy, Bullet, and yourself.
Yeah.
I thought Fussy came over with you. Was it just you left?
It was just me. So It's me, Jar, and Empty.
Okay. But did you guys have like a massive following going into it, or like what? Where did this Burger Brigade shit? Like, I know that you said it was just one guy in the crowd, but where? How? Like, what? You know, you had jerseys and shit at the end of like the last day and merchandise and stuff. Like, how did this happen? What was it? Was it like a troll for other people to jump on board and be like, oh, fuck it? Like, what the hell is it?
Yeah, no, like, I get, like, 100% that would have been part of it. Like, for sure. Like, I'd be lying if I was like, no, they were just fans, they were just supporting because they were supporting. Like, 100%. Sorry, I'm having like the worst. I'm having hay fever at the moment.
I'll have to after this podcast, I'll send you pictures of the stuff that I take every day, nasal spray, and it really helps. It's like a really good steroid for your nose.
It's so annoying, man.
I have bad hay fever, but this shit genuinely helps. It's the only thing that helps me, and I get it bad.
Back to so for sure, bit of a troll. People would have jumped on board because it was a troll.
Yeah,
but I'm not even kidding. We had like no following going into it. Like
it's nuts. Fuck.
So the brother Eric has showed up, been the loudest person in the room.
Yep.
And has attracted it's something that people probably don't believe or don't understand, but his energy alone sucked in like people to come sit with him.
No, I get that. I get it, bro.
Like he was that guy.
Yeah.
Like he didn't even mean to do it. He just wanted to like hype us up and support us because like we had sort of like no one there. He was like, fuck it, I'm gonna be Team Burger supporter.
Yep.
And his energy, man, just sucked in an entire crowd. To think about that is kind of weird. Like it's like, how is one guy able to do that? But
it's nuts. He
did it.
Whatever energy you give to a crowd, like going by my own performance at DreamHack and stuff, hosting the stage, in character and out of character, whatever energy you dish out, it kind of rubs off on other people, and you're just like a car crash that everyone just wants to turn their heads and look at because they just want to be involved and get started. So this Eric guy, that started the Burger Brigade, he would have given that energy to people to jump in, like what you're saying, and it's kind of it's extremely contagious for people to join and welcoming and whatnot. And now, obviously, your crowd has grown on your socials and all your other teammates as well, and you've been signed by Team Moist. But how was the signing with Team Moist? Was there any other competitors that threw their hat in the ring as well?
I'll give you pre-champs.
Okay.
So pre-champs, we were going to get signed.
Yep.
We had a bunch of different teams. Holy. Sorry. So pre-champs, we had like a couple of different teams come to us, right?
Yep.
One of them being if I am no longer talking, I can say who was approached us, right? Because I didn't sign anything.
I don't see any issue with that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can. So we were talking to Glitch.
Yep.
And we were talking to, I can't remember what they were called now, but they were, I believe, a Middle Eastern org maybe, or something like that.
Yep.
So we had like a couple of offers, and we had like a couple of insane offers, really, for who we were at the time. We had like some really good offers.
Yeah.
That all just fell through. Like all just seemed to just like, we would get ghosted. Everything was like, they were like, yeah, we're good, and then just like fall off the face of the earth. And it was like, it was super frustrating because we were going into champs thinking that boot camp was going to be covered, accommodation was going to be covered, like all of that. We were under the impression that was all going to be like a smooth ride, because both my team in Sweden and Team Burger were unsigned for Sweden as well.
Yep.
And we knew exactly what it was like to be unsigned in terms of the accommodation, in terms of like traveling and the boot camp and stuff like that, and the stress that there is behind that, like not just financially, but organizing everything yourself.
Yeah.
So we were like super excited for champs, thinking that like, oh yeah, we're going to be signed, this will all be taken care of, we'll be able to just play the game, because like ideally that's what you want to do.
Sure. Absolutely.
You want to just show up to wherever you're having, like wherever the LAN is, and you just want to boot camp and play the game. You don't want to be thinking about what you're doing afterwards. You don't want to be thinking about the food's not something that is stressful, but like you don't want to be thinking about like just like accommodation, traveling, sorting all that out yourself, like having someone to do that for you.
Oh, it's
like,
tough.
Yeah, like who is it? Minus Tempo. TSM's manager, right? He is probably the one manager that I've seen who just takes care of his players. Like, unbelievably takes care of his players. Like, I think no matter what they ask for, he'll get.
Yep.
Like, he'll just have it sorted. So, seeing something like that is like, that's what we sort of like, we're like, holy, if we can get that, like, we'll be good.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know, everything fell through. It was just like, people just fell off the face of the earth, apparently. Some orgs were apparently, like, having a midlife crisis right when they were, like, trying to sign us. Like, there was just internal issues and stuff like that. And then post-champs, yeah, we had quite a few people come to us, like quite a few orgs, quite a few big orgs too.
Right.
Like, Moist is obviously the biggest and best, right?
Yep.
That's a blessing. Like, they were, as soon as they said they wanted us, it's like, yeah,
No brainer.
Yeah, like that. Like, it's not even a question. Like, we're down.
Yeah.
But we had, like, for instance, we never got any offers from, but like we were talking to Saw.
Yep.
Who seemed like a bunch of genuine guys, by the way, because they were at no point stringing us along, or they weren't just doing org talks. It just seemed like whenever we had a chat, it was just like genuine. Like, orgs, like a lot of orgs have this sort of like fake, they tell you what you want to hear kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the guys that saw, I don't know, they just seem super chill. They're
good operators, man. They're good operators over there, for sure.
Yeah, because they're like all past gamers. Like, they're all, like, you're talking about the OGs of the gaming industry right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they get it.
So, like, those guys were cool. KCP, the Kansas City Pioneers.
Yep.
So we were talking to those guys, who were also talking to, like, a bunch of different teams.
Yep.
So we knew that at the time too.
Yeah, that's okay.
So they were, like, definitely one of the ones that we were, like, on the brink of signing to. Like, we were just doing a bunch of, like, negotiations. Those guys also seem pretty genuine over there. And they got a better offer from, like, a different team, I believe. Maybe like an NA team or something like that. It just would have been like NA or EU, because basically when you're from APAC South, if there is an NA or EU team up for grabs, you just need to know that you're going to lose.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it. You could be as good as, like, you could be a, you know, back-to-back Lands finalist with the Burger Brigade behind you.
Yep.
You still lose to an NA or EU team.
Yep.
Regardless of how good they are. It's like, the viewership alone in those two regions, it's a no-brainer for orgs.
Yeah,
so,
it's
like,
just advertising money and all that type of stuff. Impressions, eyes, everything. The value, they just get it back regardless.
Yeah. So
it's
it's like, it is what it is, but those guys, like, also seem pretty dope. So almost, yeah, I guess kind of almost signed to, but Moist was just always like, the second they said, hey, we were like, yep.
Yeah, but you didn't let them know that. You're like, yeah, we've had Optic and 100 Thieves knocking our door, but, you know, what do you guys have to offer, bro?
I mean, like, that's the thing. Because Critical talks about it on stream.
Yep.
So so what he says it on stream, so I guess, like, I'm allowed to say it. I'm pretty confident I'm allowed to say it. He doesn't take a percentage of winnings.
Yep.
And he says that on stream all the time. So I'm guessing if he says it on stream, I'm allowed to say it.
That's fine.
Because he is, I don't know, he's just a genuine fucking person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what other orgs take no percentage of earnings?
Sure. Optic, the Thieves, and that's pretty much it.
Like, do they even do that, though?
That I know of.
Like,
yeah. That's what,
yeah? Like, guaranteed?
Hex and Nade shot both so that they don't. That's all I know.
That's insane. Because, like, as far as, like, what I know, 20 to 30% is, like, the standard.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah. Like, as far as, like, what I know, that is, like, sort of like the standard. Which is, like, to have them come along and be like, hey, we don't take any of the earnings. It's like why? Like why would you? Like, you know what I mean? It's like that's just, I know it's just kind of unreal.
Yeah, wow.
So it's just like, that just shows to me, I guess, like how sort of like genuine they are in a sense. Like it just shows that like they're just not in it for the return, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Because like when we talk to certain orgs, okay, I'm not going to name those orgs, but when we talk to orgs, there were some that were genuinely in calls with us, and they were like trying to do the maths on the spot of how much we would cost and how much we would like how big of a return that they could potentially make, and blah blah blah. Like they were doing that in a call with us.
Average placings, and then average prize money for those placings, and then minus the 30%.
Yeah.
And then how much accommodation would make, and then how much views and impressions you guys would get on tweets.
They were just
Instagram, TikTok, Twitter,
like
all that shit. Yeah.
That to me, the second, and there were orgs that we genuinely stopped talking to after that.
You don't do that in a call.
That's what I'm saying. Like
you do that behind closed doors, and you
you go weigh it up. You go talk to whoever you got to talk to, and you go weigh that up.
Yeah.
You don't sit in the call with the players and do that shit. It's like,
that's unprofessional as fuck. Who's running these places, man? Are they young? How old are they?
No, they like, I mean, from the I mean, I didn't ask ages, but from the voices, you're talking about guys that are late 20s, early 30s.
What the fuck? Expected better than that. That's dumb as shit. It's like sitting there next to your CEO saying, "Do we want to sign them?" with them in the fucking same room. It's just the dumbest shit ever.
Yeah. It was like, as I said, man, our experience trying to find an org.
Yeah. Wow.
Not the greatest journey. Not gonna lie.
Okay.
Until Moise came knocking, and then it was like, holy shit, we've got one of the biggest up and coming orgs with with one of the biggest creators behind it, and they're more genuine than some of these orgs that didn't even come close.
Yeah.
And like make sense.
Yeah, it's nuts. That's crazy, man. The thing about it, Moist as well, I'm not really familiar with Moist Esports. They're a fighting game like Smash Bros, like Melee, Rocket League, and that's as far as I know from my previous experience with them. But tell me a bit about them, man. Moist Esports. Whereabouts are they based, and what do they do?
So they're NA.
Yep.
And as far as what they do, that's the thing. Yeah, you're right. So they do a bunch of fighting games. Some of the players that I've from those fighting games that I've actually talked to, because we have like a chat that we're all in together, like all the players from all the different games.
Yeah.
So we've spoken to each other. It's like, I don't know. It's like there's not a lot of us, but it's like it's kind of cool because like not a lot is also good in a sense because it's like I don't know. It's like kind of like a tight little like family type vibe. Yeah. So it's like it's good, but they're also in Splitgate, by the way, in case you didn't know that one. So they're in Splitgate as well. Yeah, damn, dude.
Damn, bro. Sorry, Splitgate. Sorry.
That's tough.
It was big to start with, and it just went down the shitter. Everyone like stopped playing it. It wasn't supported. Then Halo came out. It's like, why we play this instead we play Halo with no portals? You know what I mean?
Halo.
And Halo shit itself. There was so much potential with Halo, man. Oh man, honestly, bro. But I'm not complaining. Our team did lift the trophy on the other weekend.
Yeah, I mean, not gonna lie, I don't keep up with many esports, to be completely honest, unless it's I was keeping up with the Rocket League, like the like while we were talking to them, so I was keeping up with like the Rocket League boys. So I'm pretty sure they won the major before the last one that they played.
Damn, really?
Yeah,
incredible.
Pretty sure they did, and then pretty sure they still had a good run in the last LAN that they played, which was only like maybe a month ago now.
Shit.
So yeah, like I've been keeping up with those guys, but back to what Moist is and what they do, kind of thing. They're like, I would confidently say they're like on their way to being one of the orgs that you talk about. Like when you talk about like the top, like like the S tier orgs, like your TSM, your NRG, your Sentinels, and it's like. Even though people are like, oh, I didn't even know that they were, because I've had people come to my stream and say, oh, I didn't even know these guys existed, and it's like, that's not surprising, but like you will soon is like the way that I see it, because I feel like Apex is sort of like the first big step for them.
Yep.
And if you saw the support that they got behind that post, like right. Like you saw it, right? Like almost 1 million.
I was insane. It was a great video
views.
too.
I
liked it on that, dude. That's what prompted me, reminded me. I'm like, shit, I got to get Wxltzy back on the podcast, man.
Yeah. So that's what I mean, though. Like, so they're like on their way to. I don't know, obviously, what they're doing next.
Yep.
I don't know what their next big move is, but you can only assume that with signing us, like they have big plans, because Apex is sort of like a big step for them. It's like they've got a bunch of fighting games, they've got Rocket League, and even though Splitgate's like like an FPS, as you said, Splitgate is like not anywhere near the caliber that Apex is.
Yeah.
So it's like you can only assume that they're gonna be hopping in to other esports as well, which I hope so too, because like. Yeah, I don't know. They're just everything about them is just good. Like
it comes down to the return on interest when it comes to
of course.
Changing esports and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, of course. And I've had like bad experiences with orgs too.
Yeah.
Not gonna name them, obviously, but yeah, I can tell you by the way that when we were looking for an org, like we weren't looking for an Aussie org.
Yeah.
I can tell you that for sure. So, it is unfortunate. As much as I would love to like represent, like an Aussie org, it's like, just not had any great experiences there.
Yeah, no one here is really going to be able to fund you the way that a North American team could. Whilst they may be taking a risk having on Aussies and APAC South people and APAC North and etc. They may be taking a loss there, but they've got a big audience gain. But financially, they're making a bigger gain somewhere else, which would supplement for the loss that they're having with possibly another team. So they're doing it well, but that's the thing with an Australian team. You've got to have all wins. You cannot have a single loss to make up for a win in one department, because it's all financially thing. Look at Order Esports, man. They're done. They've gone into administration, which sucks for all the people that they had employed and full-time jobs and people that have moved states just to come down and work with them, and they shut down and stuff. But yeah, I don't blame you, man, for looking for North American.
I think I mean, I'm not close to anyone in any Australian org. I'm not close. I didn't know really like anyone from Order. You're one of a couple. Actually, I know a couple people from Chiefs now that I think about it, which is like kind of.
You'd probably know Nick, Josh, and Aiden. AK. You know AK? AK or Sav? Painted Sav, he used to be back in the day. Sav's our CEO, nope. Nick.
No.
No, okay. I'm surprised.
So the people that I do know is
Mike.
You're naming people I've never heard of.
There are four full-time staffers right there. That's our team. I'm just part of content.
Yeah. So I know that's what I was gonna. I mean, I know content creators. Sorry for Chiefs. I don't know. Okay. So I know you. And then I know Alpha Anton.
Thanks, man.
No, but like.
Yeah.
And then I know. Like Alpha Anton.
Great guy.
Yeah. Played with him in a charity tournament before. And then I think was Mithy ever signed to Chiefs?
Yeah, Mithy's signed to Chiefs.
Is she still signed to Chiefs?
I am uncertain. Okay,
well, so yeah, those I think that's mostly everyone that I know from Chiefs, but I'm not. Yeah, as I was saying, I don't know anyone in the Aussie orgs, but I would say I think in a sense they do it to themselves, and like as harsh as that is to say, it's like I don't know. You're never like if you're starting an org, you need to understand that the return on investment is like almost never going to be like you're never going to make a like return on investment, like almost never. And even NA orgs are prepared for that.
Yep.
If you're an Aussie org and you're trying to make sure that you're like, I don't know, like cutting your losses, I guess, in a sense, and you're trying to like you're not taking any big risks, then probably don't be an org. I got to be like brutally honest there.
Yeah.
So I can tell you right now, and this is no shade to them, but it is no shade, but like I don't know, just their loss, I guess. So Fury Oz, right?
Yep.
I don't know if you know this, but me and Jen Burton were signed to them at one point. Right? Yep. Jen Burton.
Yeah. There we go.
You know who we're talking about here?
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
World champion.
Yeah. So
Fury
I
was
told
big
them
with Fortnite. I remember back a few years ago.
Yeah. So I told them straight up. I'm not even kidding. Are they still an org? They are, right?
I think so. Yeah, they're run by like. Is it Fury Venom? Is there owner?
Yeah, he was the guy that I. It's funny you mentioned that name. So he was the guy that and again, this is no shade. This is just like this is just me pointing something out. It's like I told them, I promised them. I said I was like I'll be partnered on Twitch, and like I'll grind my ass off. And I was like I would have said to him back in the day, Jen Burton is the best controller player in the world, right?
Yep.
Because back then I knew it, and I told them that, and I was like, you guys can, you guys can keep us, and like and support us, and like I promise you, it'll pay, like it'll be worth it, like because like we will be, like I was like trying to guarantee them we will be like something, like we won't just be like the next average Joe that you sign and. I'm not. It's not empty words. I told them, like, I promise you, Jen Burton will be like who he was, like who he is now.
Yeah.
And at the time, Jen was playing on a budget setup. He was playing on a 60 hertz monitor on PC with like a broken controller. Like the guy was on the definition of a budget setup, right? Yeah. His PC was probably getting like 90 frames at best. Like. Yep. May as well have been playing on console. And yeah, they just pretty much didn't do anything to keep us. And it wasn't that long after that Jen sort of took off. And it was like, hey man, like you could have done something to keep us. You didn't do it.
Yeah. And
it's like, again, it's no shade. It's like, it's just that I don't know. I feel like Aussie orgs just don't do it right.
Yep.
That's just how I see it. I don't know an Aussie org that and like Chiefs might be amazing. Like obviously I don't have any experience with them. And I don't know how order ran things. But just from experience, even when I've done org talks, they don't seem like they're willing to take risks, is what I would say.
Yeah.
So it's like, in my opinion, why are you doing it if you're not willing to take the risk?
Yeah, I understand. And look, from their point of view, going from, I don't know, looking at it from order compared to Chiefs and whatnot, with the lack of bias here, there was a lot of resources used at order, and there's very minimal at Chiefs. Like order had about, I don't know, over 20 staff, which is amazing. And Chiefs had 4 staff, but just, paying all those heads is difficult. And I think it's more about what, to your point, is about the fact that identifying talent early and making sure to recognize that and reward it with what it is deserved and deserving. But also dangle the carrot and make sure that there's an incentive at the end of it to say, hey, well, we'll look after you a little bit more and make sure it's in writing. But we'll look after you a little bit more, yourself and Jen Burton by, upgrading this monitor from our sponsorship deals that we pursue, upgrading your setup. And we can do that type of stuff. And then depending on how you perform, we can help fly you out to events and smaller things like that. And from having our badge on your chest, that would help grow our brand as well. So it's a win-win type of thing. Obviously some people, Fury I'm not sure if their owner is a full-time, runs things full-time like how the boys do at Chiefs and how people did it at Order. But if it's a full-time gig, you've also got to be conscious that you've got to put dinner on the table for yourself and your family. If you have a family, you got to pay your bills and your mortgage and all that type of shit as well. So I get it. I get where you're coming from and I get where they're coming from. It's just that at the moment, it's really hard to get new competitors into the space now that want to jump into the space and come into esports and start investing their brand. That's why you see a lot of an oversaturation of computer companies and tech companies that are in here, and a small amount of drink companies like Monster and Red Bull. And we've just acquired Westfield shopping centers, which is huge. But who would have thought that they'd be associated with a gaming brand? But now they are. So it's just making sure that you're on top of all your investments. And obviously there's risk reward factors that come into it, but you've just got to be smart with it and careful. And meet that and have that happy balance and achieve happiness for both the players or the people that you want to sign and as well as the management that is running the place as well.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. It's like, as I said, I personally don't think I would ever, I could never see myself doing any sort of org stuff in terms of running an org or anything, because it just seems stressful, man. It just seems like a lot.
Yep.
But I have a theory actually that I was here
we go.
Speaking of speaking of return on investment, right?
Okay.
And the fact that almost never, ever do orgs make back when they invest in teams and stuff like that. It's almost never, because it's that's just not how it works. For instance, the biggest dub I've ever seen from an org is Dark Zero. I'm talking, you pick up the LAN champion team, right, with Jen Burton.
Yep. And
they win the very next LAN, and you've signed them for not even a month.
Yeah.
Right? That is a dub. That is probably one of the biggest wins I've ever seen from an org, right? But even with that, I don't know if they took a cut from that tournament or not.
Yep.
But even then, they're moving them out to NA, right?
Yep.
So that has to cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
That has to be an insane amount. They're also going to be housing them, they're going to be paying them salary. So that all has to cost an insane amount of money. So even with that big win, I can't see that being. I mean, it might be a little bit profitable because of how quick it happened.
Yep.
So they didn't. It's not like they'd been signed for 12 months and then they won.
Yeah.
But even with that, I don't see it being a big profit sort of thing. So my theory is that with these big orgs, they're happy to take the losses, and the whole thing is growing the brand to one day then be able to sell. So the only reason I have this weird theory, and you can 100% correct me if you think I've just come up with something that's absolutely stupid, because I might have, but FaZe, right, went public. Correct. As a company, right?
Yep.
And FaZe is also the most clouted org in the world.
Yep.
So is it not every org's or most orgs' goals to essentially make the orgs just keep making them super clouded and stuff like that, to the point where they're worth so much that one day that they can sort of sell? Or is it not sell, but you know what I mean, like that's how you can eventually like that's like sort of like the end goal to make it so that like that's where the money is.
Yeah.
Because like otherwise, I don't know. You just never. They're never making money. So that's like the one way that I can see them. Like, you just keep boosting.
Yeah.
Until you can eventually sort of like go public or sell. And that's how you make your money. I don't know, like, because otherwise, why do they do it? Is it just because they enjoy it? Enjoy.
The thing about it is that, like, the same could be said for, go live the dream. Go pursue something that you like, and you can only put passion into things that you like. So, you want to go live the dream. No one fucking really, only 0.01% of gamers are actually full timers. But, you go see this person that owns like a big accounting firm. You don't see that guy super passionate about the fucking accounting firm. No. What they're passionate about is cash. They're passionate about fucking living the life that they want to live, that they want to achieve. So that's kind of what the guys are doing now that are CEOs and management and whatnot out there that are esport orgs. They are passionate about it because you look at Hex with Optic. Hex sold Optic to Immortals and they purchased it and they fucked the whole system. But he bought it back because he was so passionate about his baby and having it work right and all that type of stuff. Now, I'm not sure about the phase guys, but yes, it's all about money and helping you achieve the life that you want to live. But they're also living the life that they want to live through something that they also love and they're very passionate about, and they have been since early 2000s.
True.
You don't build an org to be non-profitable, but you build an org for happiness and for it to hopefully achieve that dream of you being able to live the life that you want to live. But back to your point about what's the point? Well, it's kind of what I was just saying is where people want to have that profitability. Whilst they may spend X amount of dollars on getting Jen Burden's team over, and they've spent him to get accommodation, there's also other clauses in there where Jen Burden would have to stream X amount of hours, do X amount of shout outs, and possibly may have to do X amount of guaranteed people to grow their teams to make that more profitable and make that more appealing, because Jen Burden bringing him on may not directly be an income, but indirectly it helps by getting sponsors on board saying, hey, to, let's say Miele, the fucking washing company, the washing machine company and the dish, we'll say them as a random example. Oh yeah, we just signed the world's biggest team for Apex Legends. We have XYZ amount. These guys are with us for XYZ amount of time. Do you want to sign with us for the XYZ amount of time? And they'll say, yep, we'll jump on board as well. That's pretty much what they do across the board, and that's how they make their money. And they give their return on investment by having that sponsor on the jersey. It's repetition. You see Betterway on a lot of jerseys out there now for esports, and you see it, and you see it about 5 times, and then you're like, holy shit, I'm going to go Google what that is. Same as Maccas. You see a lot of Maccas on AFL jerseys and all that type of shit, or the Toyota for the AFL season as well. You see Toyota, and then 5 years down the track, it's been a major sponsor for so many years, and you're like, fuck, I need a new car. What do I get? I'm going to get a Corolla or a Hilux, depending on what you need it for. So that's the return on investment. It's repetition. It's repetitive marketing, and that's how it kind of works. So they will always be in the clear. Whilst they may take a short-term loss, overall, they will take a big-time, long-term win. That's kind of how it works, and that's to my understanding. Now, after this podcast, I may have to get your CEO on and get him to jump into this as well, because then we can also chat about that and chat about that return on interest and how you guys actually make money and how it's distributed. But that's my understanding of it from an Australian org esports thing, by getting to know it from Nick, Aiden, Mike, and Josh at Chiefs. But that's how it works, man. That's how it works. You use players as leverage to then gain somewhere else in a different department, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, the only reason I say this is because who is it? There is an NA org, and I don't know which one, but it's like public. It's public how much orgs are up and down. I don't know who it is, but they're down, I think, 2 million this year.
Shit. Is it a big org?
Yeah. Very big org. It's one of the...
a TSM Optic 100 Thieves org?
Not
Cloud9,
TSM.
Sentinels?
It's one of them, but I don't know exactly which one. I'll have to have a look. But one of them is down a lot. a lot of money in a year. Like,
Yeah, right.
and it was like the start of the year too. So like, wasn't like after a whole year they're down 2 mil. Like first couple months of the year they were down 2 mil already.
Yeah. Shit.
So, the only one of the only orgs I can think of that had taken like massive wins is TSM with the FTX contract.
Yes. Oh, that's huge. $210 million for so many years. Ridiculous.
Yeah. So that's one of the instances though that I was talking about, where I feel like the goal isn't necessarily like to bring on players, to bring on sponsorships. It is in a sense, but it's like to prop the org up to that point where they're like, FTX want to fucking sign a contract with us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that's like the only way that I can see, like, but even then, like those kind of deals are so rare.
It's luck.
Like, yeah, it's like not every org's doing that, and that's why I say like it's like so hard for me to like kind of comprehend like how that all works. But I guess like, for instance, DZ. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure the owner of DZ is like a billionaire or makes so much money.
Yep.
Where he could lose all the money in the world, and it would not bother him with DZ, because like that's like the only time where I'm like, where I look at orgs and I'm like, that'll work.
Yeah.
Like that'll work because they have the backing that they can't lose.
Yep.
If that makes sense.
I get.
Whereas like, I guess in a sense that's also why Aussie orgs to me just seem like they're not doing it right. Because I don't really know any Aussie orgs that have that kind of funding, that have that backing.
Well, without saying too much, I know that there's a lot of investors in some orgs.
Yep.
So having those investors in the orgs, whilst you may not have majority shareholding in those orgs privately, you have investors that want a return, and you will generally always deliver. The investment is the players, and that's the risk, and the return is to one day hopefully land that TSM FTX deal, and that's what, and that is, and I guess that we're both pretty much saying the same thing, but just a different, an alternative way of saying it. But I believe that we're both in agreement of, yes, whilst you do lose money on players and you're like, how the fuck do you recover that money? Eventually you'll kind of want to land that big whale at the end of it and be like, this is what's attached to our brand, and this is what we can offer you with your brand by coming on and giving us all this money. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Let's sign. That's me as TSM FTX. Oh, sorry, FTX jumping on board. That's kind of what it is all about, and I believe that we're both in agreement of that. Orgs may be running at a loss, but I can't really speak from a first person level on how it's going on with the org that I'm attached to. I'll keep that private because I'm not exactly sure. I don't want to talk on their behalf without them saying the direct things, but they are going well. But other teams, they just want to keep boosting it, taking those risk, and then get that reward. Because from the outside, fuck, dude, 100 Thieves, Optic, Cloud9, Sentinels, they're all going great. They get a lot of sales. Their breakdowns on how they get their money is from, ads. Merchandise is really big at Cloud9. That's huge. That's a massive one for them. Same as TSM. Optic would be as well. The markup on things. And then you've got, I can't even think right now, but you've got a big breakdown about where their profit comes from, and it's quite interesting. Tickets sold as well, and I think that whilst they may be running at maybe possibly a loss, I don't think that they're going to lose overall in the long term. Yeah. Because look how far esports has come in such a short duration. It's insane.
That's the other thing too. I think we were talking about it. You said before about how sponsorships are mainly PC companies and some drink companies and stuff like that, right?
Yep.
I think in the next 5 to 10 years, I'll give it 5. I'll give it 5. I think in 5 years, we will see sponsors the likes of the same as like other professional sports.
Yep.
I think 5 to 10, like 10 years definitely. 5 years, maybe not crazy amounts of new sponsors, but like you'll definitely see. I think in my like, if I had to guess, in 5 years you'll see some big sponsors coming into esports. Like, who's like some big sponsors, man?
Big sponsors?
Tennis has crazy sponsors. Like
Tennis
they have
has Kia.
They have don't tennis have like Rolls Royce and stuff like that as well? Don't they have like the
No, tennis has Rolex, which is the watch brand.
Rolex? Yeah. So like those
Same
type
as
of
F1.
sponsors.
F1 has that type of stuff too with watches.
Yeah, I feel like esports 5 to 10 years. I feel like for sure you'll see those sponsors coming in because the viewership is astro-fucking-nomical.
Yeah.
It is out of this world. Like, I think I saw something, and I could be wrong, but I swear I saw something about in America, esports was like the 4th most watched sport or something like that.
That's crazy.
It was up there. So you give it 5 years, and I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like the money in esports, the growth in esports, everything will just be, it'll be cooked, man. I don't know. It'll be, in my opinion, it's on its way to being like just esports in general will be like just one of the most watched things in the world for sure.
It'll be mega, man. And with the new generation coming along with TikTok and all that type of stuff evolving, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
As a player for yourself, man, how important is it for you to get outside of gaming and go to the gym and do all these other things?
Man, it's like
For like your mental health and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, on a deeper level, I can pretty much say that like if it wasn't for gym, I don't know if I'd be here.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's like that. It's to that degree of importance to me. Like, if I wasn't going to gym, and I saw this post, man, it's the funniest thing ever. It was to all my people that can't afford or don't want to go to therapy. How's heavy lifting?
Yep.
And that hits deep because
Yeah.
it's like it's so true. It's like, and I recommend this on stream all the time because like I don't know if you've ever been to my stream, but I have like a Nightbot message that comes up every so often. It's like about specifically men's mental health. I support everyone's mental health. Like, you know, obviously, like I don't care who you are, but like it's more specifically men's mental health because it's so slept on.
Yeah.
So, I always recommend, and I'll say right now, I've had upwards of 50 young men come talk to me, and this shit hits deep because it's like, I lost a friend in high school to suicide, so it's like, I've had like upwards of 50 young men come like to my DMs and talk to me about them struggling with like their mental health and stuff like that. And the one thing I will always recommend is to find a hobby that you're passionate about, and like just something that you can just like hold on to that is like that just makes you happy, right?
Yeah.
And gym. I will always recommend gym for anyone that is like struggling mentally, because I know for me it was the biggest like not a break from reality, but it was just like a way for me to sort of like get emotion out in terms of like I wasn't sitting there crying doing a deadlift, but like I was sitting there like, you know, I'm smashing out weights and I'm just like, it's just the biggest release for me. It's just it's like the same as people who, I don't know, they do fighting or something like that, or like just any sport, but just gym by far. And a bunch of guys I've talked to all feel the same way. I don't know about you, but gym for me is therapy. For
100%,
sure.
100%, man. Gym is so important, and ditto to your point about, you know, telling people and advising people things when they come to you for help. And like, for one, holy shit, man, thanks for coming to me, man. I appreciate that I'm approachable enough for you to be able to jump out, pull yourself out of the comfort zone and come chat to me about these things. But the first thing is for me, like, it's always are you keeping yourself fit? No, I'm not. Okay, well, let's start there. Let's start with the basics. Like, we're humans. Since the caveman days, we're built to move and cover thousands of kilometers per day. Sorry, kilometers per day, thousands of kilometers per year, hunting and stuff. But we're built to move.
Yeah.
And with the generation that we're in right now, society, we're all kind of stay inside and fucking play on your phone and don't go outside and get a tan and all that type of stuff. The sun's bad for you. Obviously, if you overexpose yourself and you get burnt, but going out there, getting a bit of vitamin D, working out, getting that dopamine hit that you may not get anywhere else, sitting there at a desk or on the train and stuff. You need it, bro. You need that. And to like the hardest part about going to the gym, the hardest part about gym is going to gym. That's what I always say. It's about getting there, getting yourself there, putting your clothes on and being like, oh, I've got to go. That's the hardest part about gym, man. It's where it's at. And so to see your story and stuff, and to say that you wouldn't be here without gym and that motivation and seeing yourself feel good in the mirror and all that, and get a pump and understand what it feels like, it's great. It's unreal, because a lot of people can use that as motivation for themselves if they're in a dark place listening to this podcast, or if they come across yourself or myself or others in the society that believe on this theory. They never out there, the doctors will never say, here, go to gym, have a healthy diet and make sure you're hydrated. They'll say, oh, here's some medicine and fucking take this and stay at home and don't go outside. It's just how fucked it is, It
is, yeah. No, I like 100%. That's like one of the things too that I've I guess in a way struggled with. I went to a therapist maybe when I was like quite young, like I was like probably 13, 14, and it was not specifically to do with me, more just like it was like a family thing. It was like it was like a big mess. But I've never gone back because it was just like, man, I'll never want to do that again. Like, and I'm not recommending therapy or like seeing a therapist. I'm just saying it wasn't for me. Me personally, I don't like talking to people that I don't really know. Whereas like, I'll talk to my friends. Like for instance, like a good friend of mine, Kyle Droger. He's a part of the gaming scene. He's someone that I talk to all the time when I'm having like those mental struggles, and that's like a big thing too. Like, if you're a guy, it's so hard. It is so unbelievably hard. Even as close as I am to Kyle, and as many talks as we've had about like just stuff that's like you can't talk to other people about. Even when there's like something that I'm like, bro, I need to get this. Like, I need to talk to someone. Even going to him again, even though I know he's like happy to hear it, it's like I still struggle to go talk to him. So it's like, again, I wouldn't not recommend it, but I would say it's like it's not for everyone, and that's okay. Like, and that's like a big thing as well. Like a lot of the guys I've talked to, they like always say, man, like I don't want to go see someone. Yeah, and it's like that's okay, but you don't have to go see someone. You just need to talk to someone. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a professional. Yeah, so that's like a big thing for me. And like as you said too, like a lot of kids that even I went to high school with were on like I know kids that I was in high school with that were on fucking anxiety meds. Yeah. We're talking 15, 16-year-olds on anxiety meds. And it's like, in my opinion, man, it's like, as much as it might help, it's like, I don't know, it felt like a lot of fixes were just, here, have meds.
It's
like as you said.
It's a band-aid.
Yeah. And yeah, it's like it's
suppressing their emotions. And so by doing that, then they kind of end up down the fucking tunnel of, further issues down the track. And then they, for example, they're doing that when they're so young. They have a kid when they're older, and then they're like, holy shit, how do I deal with a kid? Well, you can't just hide away and take some pills and hope that you're going to be okay, and the kid will just start wiping its own ass and changing its own nappies. This is just one example, but you've got to attack that thing fucking head on. As shit as it is, you've got to be comfortable getting uncomfortable. And it sucks. And one day we'll all come across something that's very fucking hard and very difficult. We're going to have a bad day one day. You've got to accept that. One day, everyone, I can guarantee you, everyone, for people listening, this is going to be something a little bit extreme, but everyone will die one day. Simple as that. You'll die, I die, we'll move on to whatever else is after this. But that's, a guaranteed bad day. Things are going to happen, but you'll make it through. And it's as bad as as you make it, and how you can overcome it. And a lot of people, I really like this one from Rocky Balboa. It's about, that it's not about how hard you can how many times you can get hit, but it's about how hard you can get hit. Is that it?
It's like
how hard you can get hit and keep going, get up and keep going. Is that the quote?
Yeah,
Something like
it's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can
That's
get
it.
hit and keep moving forward. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. And that's kind of it,
Yeah.
man. You know, see, the thing about it is that, oh, fuck, me car broke down. So this is a really poor example, but, oh, fuck, my car broke down. My car broke down. This sucks. Okay, what do I need to do? Okay, well, it broke down because it overheated. Okay, well, maybe in the future now, what I've learned is that I've got to keep my radiator topped up all the time, and let's learn from this. That's a positive. Thank you very much for me identifying this easy situation. Now, which is with this hard situation, which is now easy because I know what the issue is. So every negative thing, try spin it and make it a positive. That's a big thing that I've learned over the years with myself and whatnot. And thankfully, I've said it before, but I've never really suffered from any of the mental health things that a lot of people do come up with, which I'm very grateful for. But I understand how to keep myself out of it. Like, I will happily spend however long on an island by myself. I don't need anyone else. But when I'm in a team, I'm also really great and love having people around me. I can make my own entertainment by myself and love being around other people. It's just one of those things. So it's tough, man. Everyone's in a different situation as well. It comes down to the upbringing. It comes down to who you've come across with a schoolyard, who you've come across in life, and it's how you diet, how you handle yourself, gut health, bacteria, all these small little things, these 1%ers. Like, if you change your trajectory by 1%, in 10 years' time, you're a totally different person. If you just make that one little mistake.
Yeah, there's actually two things. One, it's really rare to be comfortable being alone by yourself. Well, I'm not sure if you know that, but it is actually like, it's like, it is really rare. A lot of people, it's one or the other, but it's not both. A lot of people, I mean, that's why there's introverts and there's extroverts. Like, people either hate being alone or people hate being in crowds. If you can do both, it's not like crazy rare, but like, for you to say that you've never had any mental struggles and it's because you're happy to be, like, it's because you're happy because you can do both, that's rare. Like, that's actually, it's a good thing. But a lot of people can't do that. So like that's honestly pretty cool. And the other thing was with the whole radiator, like what is it?
Learning from your issues. I guess the radiator story where
the example. I watched a really good video, and it was we're not taught how to solve. We're not taught like how to solve our problems. We're just taught we're just given fixes. If you have a headache, what do you do?
Is this a
like
question
what is it? Yeah, like what does everyone do?
What does everyone do?
Yeah.
Well, people will just take a medicine. For me personally, I hydrate. I make sure to, if I can lay down. I make sure to then try meds a little bit later. And if I'm hungry, then I'll have something to eat.
Yeah, good. So, like, you do the right steps. If you have a headache, you drink more water. If you have a headache, like if that doesn't fix it, you might eat. If that doesn't fix it, you might, if you're looking at a screen, you might put the screen down. Stuff like that. Like, whereas what so many people are taught is like, you got a headache, I'll take a Panadol.
Yeah. And
it's like, as small as this example is, in terms of like, we're taught to we're taught easy fixes. We're not taught to like figure things out. In a sense, it's like, if we were taught, it's the same as the radiator story. The car's overheating. Like, what's the fix for it? Instead of just take it to a mechanic or whatever.
Yep.
For instance, and like, you actually figure it out how to fix it. If you're taught that, it's the same almost with the mental health as well. It's like, I'm depressed. Okay, why am I depressed? It's the same as what you're saying before. Are you working out? Are you being fit? Like, are you taking care of yourself? Are you maybe playing too much video games?
Yep.
Whatever it might be. Instead, it's like, here's an antidepressant. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
It's the same as with the headache. It's like, instead of being taught to like figure out what your body needs and why you have the headache, it's like, here's a Panadol.
Yeah.
It's all of these easy fixes that we have, and I fucking hate it because it's the same in the schooling system as well. I had a teacher sort of like open up my eyes in my last 2 years of schooling, and it was, here's my physics teacher, and he taught me to solve problems on my own. And as hard as it was,
Yep.
It was only that hard because I only got taught in the last 2 years of my schooling.
Yep.
If I was taught that from the get-go, I probably would have been way smarter by the end. But it was like, in school, you have a math problem, they show you how to figure it out. They show you how to solve it.
Yep.
You're not taught how to figure it out on your own. They give you the play. They give you like the step by step of how to do it, and you don't think for yourself, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas like when I was that physics teacher, he was like, "No, I'm not going to help you." He was like, "Here's the problem. You figure it out, and if you can't figure it out, then I'll show you," kind of thing. I'm not just going to give you the answer. And like that for me was like, holy shit. I've spent like the last, like 10 years of school, like not really figuring shit out. It was just like, I got showed how to do it, and I did after that. And like, I don't know, if I had have gotten if I had got taught that earlier and applied it to not just schooling, but to life, I just for sure would have been better off, because I am one of those people that like, I had a headache, I took a Panadol.
Yep.
That's just how it is. Like, whereas if I had have been like you, for instance, I've got a headache. Okay, why do I have a headache? And I figured that shit out. It's like, man, I feel like life would have been not less stressful, but it just would have been less stressful. It's like,
yeah, no, I get you,
I don't
man.
know how to explain it.
I think that what you're getting at is that by having like a simple fix, like for example, someone has anxiety, they don't want to drive. The parents, instead of saying, okay, I'll take you this one time, only if you drive yourself for the rest of the week to work.
Yep.
Instead, they say, no worries, we'll drive you all the time. It doesn't help the situation, because when your parents aren't there to drive you and help cater to your need, well, then you're fucked. So that's kind of how I was taught when I was growing up. Not that that the driving thing is an example, but I know that a lot of people do have that driving anxiety. That they feel like they're going to flip their car and blow up the fucking whole southern hemisphere. That's the example. It comes down to the upbringing and the catering to your children and all that type of stuff. Not that I had a hard upbringing at all. But back to my point before, like, I just embrace what's in front of me. I see what it is. I'm a very I don't know. I'm kind of a unique kind of weirdo, but like, if something's wrong, I will sit there and instead of panicking straight away, take a few deep breaths, then I'll understand the situation. And I'll say, okay, well, how can we fix this? Let's write out a list in my fucking head and say, okay, we've got this option, we've got that option, we've got that option. Now, what's the consequences of option 1, 2, 3, and 4? And then I go with the least, risk consequence for all the options, and that's what I go with. It's kind of just how you break it down. You just got to think, well, hang on a second, it's not the end of the world. You break your nail, it's not the end of the world. We'll fix it. How can we fix it? Okay, we're going to do this, we can do that, we do this. Oh, fuck, I smashed the wall in my house. Okay, well, what can we do? We can do this, we can call someone to fix it. We can fix it ourselves, it will be much more cost effective, but it may take a little bit longer. Or we can just leave it and lose my bond, type of thing. You've got to think about the situations and break it down and not panic. As hard as that sounds, but you just got to take it easy. It will be okay. It will be okay. It could be worse. I always say it could be worse. It could be worse. And you break it down. If you do that, not that that's the be all and end all of advice, but that's just how I personally do it. I'm not sure about yourself, but you just take it easy, man. A few breaths and it'll be okay.
Yeah, I don't know. For me personally, I would say I definitely don't do that. I'd say I'm an extreme case of like, I don't know, if it's not going to kill me, like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's like it's like, I'll admit right now, I'm not the best problem solver, for sure. In like, not like just in real life stuff. I'm not the best problem solver, but I don't I don't get stressed out. I don't work myself out. I don't work myself up
Yeah.
over situations. I will just like, I've got a situation in front of me, and I'll figure it out.
Yep.
I might not do it the most efficient way. I might not do it the best way, but I'll get it done. It's just that I'm not gonna sit there and stress over something that maybe I can't control.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Absolutely.
again, the way you work things out, it sounds like you've got it down pat. Whereas with me, yeah, man, if my car broke, would I know how to fix it? Hell no, I don't. I'm not. I don't know anything about cars. I'm a part of that generation that doesn't know cars.
Yep.
But I wouldn't sit there and stress about it.
Yeah.
I'd try and fix it myself, knowing that I know nothing about cars.
Yep.
Or, I'd find someone that could.
Yep.
But I'm not. I just don't get stressed. I've taught myself just not stress out about situations and just take your time and just try and fix things and figure shit out.
Exactly. Absolutely. You just got to kind of embrace the moment that you're living in. And
yeah.
That's the other thing as well, that we're too busy, instead of watching the concert live, we're too busy with our phones up in the air. As I'll put my hand up that I've done that before as well. But over the weekend, I did have a thing with the boys, and it was great to just not even fucking pull my phone out, enjoy the fire, enjoy how stupid they were acting, and how, how it is with the boys, and all that type of stuff. Instead of filming stuff, just enjoy the moment,
I mean, that is one thing that I don't do. I'm not even going to lie to you. The only time I'll take photos when I'm out is if someone wants photos of what I'm doing, which is most likely going to be like my mum, for instance, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm at a concert, or if I'm I just went to America, went to Canada, the only photos that I have are photos that I tried to take for my mum.
Yep.
Otherwise, I don't really give a shit to take a photo. I'll have the memory in my head of what happened, and I'd rather embrace it. This sounds super cliche or super, I don't know what to call it.
Oh, go for it.
But I almost never want to be that person with the phone at a concert. I hate it so much. I would rather sit there and take it in, and if no one knows that I was at that concert, I don't care, because I was at the concert.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's just how I am. It's just I don't know, man. My sister, I sent her photos of the trip to Canada because I took them for my mum.
Yep.
And she's like, "You are the single worst photographer, and you're young. You're younger than me." I was like, "I don't take photos. I don't take videos."
Yeah. Yeah.
So of course I'm gonna be bad. It's you know what I mean? It's just I don't give a shit to take photos, man. I want to be in the moment. I don't want to be fucking taking photos and not taking that shit in.
I get you, man. I get you. The Chiefs, we won the Halo and League of Legends on the weekend, just gone at DreamHack, and I'm like, fuck, do I vlog this? Do I not? I don't want to get in Nick's face and film the CEO's face the whole time in my vlog.
Yeah.
And whilst I filmed a fair bit of stuff, I was like, I kind of put my thing away in my backpack, and I'm like, fuck, I can't wait to walk down this hallway with the boys and walk out onto the arena, onto the main stage, and be part of all the confetti and shit, and be part of that. I just want to enjoy that moment, and that's what I did in the end. It was great. I've been learning to do that, just to do it. Not that I've always gone around with it. When I go to events, I bring a camera, my vlog camera, so that's why I have it. I don't do it all on my phone ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all about embracing the moment, like what you're saying, and all that type of stuff. But yeah, it's one of those things, man, dude. We've been doing this for over an hour and a half.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts. Is there any closing comments, man? I didn't think we'd go this long. But...
Neither did I, to be honest. We've gone on a wild ride of topics. Hey, we've gone from...
It's good fun, man.
Yeah, we've gone from how I started to orgs to... We've done some mental health stuff. We've done some gym stuff. We've done... Yeah, holy shit. Yeah, we've talked about a lot.
We go for it, man. That's what we're doing. Everyone's always like, oh, I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe just an hour. I'm like, yeah, no worries. And I just let it keep going. And it goes. And it goes. And then I'm like, bro, it's been an hour and a half, and I've got to wrap you up.
Yeah. Closing
But
comments.
is there any closing comments that you want to say? Any like all your socials or whatever, and whatnot for anyone out there?
I'm one of those people that doesn't really care about that stuff. But
That's cool, man.
what I will say is we had Are You Okay Day 2 days ago, right?
Yeah, it was a few days ago. It was like Friday. It's gone.
Yeah. So the one thing I will say is it's okay to not be okay, and if you need to talk to someone, I will shout out my socials for this. My DMs are always open on Twitter mainly is where you'll find me, or Instagram at Wxltzy, Wxltzy. That is how I'd like to wrap that up.
I appreciate it, man, and we appreciate you for coming on, chatting about everything. Sorry about the tech issues as well before, but thank you for your time, man. Because I was nodding to you earlier, and you were like, I could see that you were like looking for recognition about what you were saying, and I'm just like, oh fuck, you can't see me, bro, because of my fucking this webcam situation. But thank you so much for coming onto the podcast, man. I wish you and your team all the best at Team Moist, aka Team Burger, and the Burger Brigade, whatever land they find themselves at next. Ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it. All Wxltzy's links will be in the description below. And we'll see you guys next time. Until then, be safe, stay swole, and as always, boom baby.